button. Comment down below as you have been doing. Definitely share. And if you haven't already subscribed, plus push that post notification bell button so that way anytime I upload a video, you'll be notified. Okay, so today I decided to come on and address some of the questions that I have been getting from you guys from previous videos, as well as kind of talk about a topic that I touched on in another video, but I didn't give it as much attention, so I just kind of wanted to go into that a little bit further. So first things first, this is not an Instacart topic, but I have been asked this question twice. My steering wheel is on the left side of my car. I'm in the state of California, so my steering wheel is on the left, but I'm using my cell phone for the camera. I'm not using a regular camera, and so the way that I have my phone positioned, I guess, makes it show up on the screen as if I'm on the opposite side. So I'm on the left side. Okay, I got a question asking me about on-demand batches, whether or not you had to be within the heat map in order to receive on-demand batches. Now, in terms of the heat map is not necessarily live. I will say that you have to be within your schedule, within your zone, whatever zone that you sign up to work within. You have to be in that zone in order for you to receive on-demand batches, if on-demand batches is available in that zone, because you may be in your zone, but if your zone is only scheduled hours, then you're not going to receive any on-demand batches. However, if you like to add another zone or region, all you have to do is call Instacart shopper support, and they can help you with that. Another option to do so, which I did also speak about in a previous video, is go to your Instacart shoppers app, and the top left hand corner, those three lines, you're going to click on that. You're going to go down to the bottom where it says profile. You're going to click on that. It's going to open up another drop box, and it's going to ask you if you want to do anything with your payment card or update zones. You're going to go to update zones, and it's going to take you to a separate page, and it's going to tell you what zone you're already currently eligible to work in, and then it should have a list down below of any other zones that you may be able to choose. I still have yet to figure out if you're able to but if you're able to change your zone when you're a brand new Instacart shopper, or if that's something that you have to call in for. So if you don't see any other zones below the one you already have checked off at the top of that page, like for example, mine's Orange County, so it says Orange County, and then it's checked off in gray, and there's no option for me to highlight it or anything, because that's the zone that I chose to work in upon signing up. So that's going to be at the top, but below that there should be a list of other regions that are close to you and far from you that you can choose to shop in. So if you don't have that list available, then you're going to definitely need to reach out to Instacart shopper support and ask them to change it for you. So I hope that was provided a little bit of clarity for that. But back to the main question, you have to be within your region, whatever region that is, and that region has to have on-demand available, because not every region has on-demand. Some regions just have hours only, meaning you have to get scheduled hours in order to be able to work in that region. So that is something that you would have to figure out for yourself, if your region has that or not. Okay, so there's been kind of a lot of talk lately, a lot of buzzing going on about the fact that Instacart shoppers are just really fed up. They feel like they're being bullied. And let me just say that I'm not doing these videos in no way, shape, or form to down talk Instacart or any of the other gig platforms, because at the end of the day, they are providing something that you can't get at a regular W-2 job, which is flexibility. However, I still feel like they are basically cutting corners and still getting away with having us work as a employee, but without paying us employee pay, if that makes any sense. And the reason why I say that is because, as I mentioned in a previous video, there are a lot of, and I'm doing Uber Eats right now, you guys, just in case you know. I got my Instacart bag, but I'm using it to keep my Uber Eats food warm. I'm on my way to pick up a delivery right now, so that's why I have children in the car with me, just in case you hear the little Google Gagas and stuff in the back. But anyways, yeah, in their contract, it clearly states that you can work when you want to. You can choose hours whenever you want to choose hours. But here's my thing. With all of these so-called flexible aspects that they're giving us, like choosing hours when you want to choose hours, right? Whatever is available, you can pick from the hours that are available, right? But then if you don't cancel within 6 hours, you get a reliability incident. And for me, it's like, I feel like the only way I should be penalized is if I was an hourly employee, because how can you tell me I have the flexibility to work when I want to work and not work when I don't want to work, but then you're going to penalize me for it? That doesn't really say independent contractor to me. On top of that, you're going to give me a reliability incident, and then I have to give you an explanation. Like, what difference does it make what the reasoning is? If I come to you and say, hey, you know what I'm saying, my father had to get his toe chopped off or whatever, my father had to have surgery, you're not going to excuse the fact that I decided to cancel my hours 2 hours before I was scheduled to start my shift. So what's the point of me giving you an explanation? It's like things of that nature. Or if I decide not to take a batch, for example, and this is a really big one. In the contract, it clearly states that you're not obligated to accept a certain amount of batches. You can accept which ones you want to. And I've even heard that in speaking to Instacart shopper support representatives. They've even said, you know, if you don't want to take it, you don't have to. The only thing for them is if you decide to cancel it once you've already accepted it, then of course you won't be paid for it. Which I get that. I didn't do the work, so I'm not going to get paid. But my problem is, why are you trying to penalize me for it? Like, why does me not accepting a batch, if I decide to say I don't want this batch, I'm going to let the timer just run down, why do I have to get penalized in my acceptance rating for that week? That again defeats the purpose of giving me the choice to say you're an independent contractor. You can choose when, where, and how you want to work. Hold on. Sorry about that, you guys. I have to go in there.
Use the second from the right lane to take exit 124, then keep left at the fork.
So I can, oh my gosh, she just be getting on my nerve. But yeah, so I have to put you guys on hold so I can go in there and get the order. But this one is actually far out. Uber Eats has been sending me like pretty far lately. I ain't mad about it though, because the further
keep
I go,
left at the fork,
the more money I get. So I'm not tripping. I'm cool with that. And I noticed too that where they're sending me, when they're probably doing it on purpose, but I'll talk about that in my Uber Eats video that's going to be coming out probably later on today or first thing tomorrow. So today is Sunday, you guys, just in case I didn't mention it. So I'm going to have an Uber Eats video with the earnings report coming out for those of you who are interested, either late tonight or first thing tomorrow. So anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, Instacart puts all of these really great, or they make the what do they call them? They make the contract aesthetically pleasing by telling us all the things that they know we want to hear. Of course, any and everyone wants to be able to work when they want to. They don't want to be tied down and have to worry about receiving first notice, second notice, third notice if they don't show up for work, because life happens and sometimes you can't always control that, you know, and I know that Instacart knows that. But my thing is, I feel like we're still employees at the end of the day. I don't feel like I'm an independent contractor. I feel like we're employees. We just don't get an hourly wage. That's what they've gotten away with. Another thing is their pay structure. I'm going to get back on that point in a minute, but their pay structure. Now, unfortunately, I didn't sign up with Instacart when they had that really great pay structure that everybody has been talking about prior to them changing it to this new one. So I don't know what that's like. All I know is what I have seen, what I have read, and of course what Instacart shoppers are all talking about. I know that they were using the tips from the customer to pay what they should have been paying. So if you were meant to get, let's just say just $40 from Instacart, excluding the tips, and let's just say the customer gave you a $30 tip, then Instacart would have given you $10 and you would have received the $40. So versus you receiving the $40 from Instacart and then the $30 that the customer wanted to give you for a tip, if that made any sense. So instead of you receiving the $70, you only received the $40. And hopefully I said that right. I do know that there was a lot of complaints about that, and so they changed it, and that's a lot of reasons why they opted to do the more transparent version of now showing you more details in the back, so you know exactly what you're supposed to get. And they've even gone as far as to say that when you are signing up as a new shopper, and let's say you use a referral code, let's say for an example, they say, okay, we're going to give you 30 days to complete batches. And once you complete those 15 batches, you are guaranteed $500. Now, they say that $500 does not include tips. So if you were to make $500 from Instacart, but then you were to also make $200 in tips, and of course you're going to get the full $700, which is good. But again, I'm not feeling the pay structure, only because I know myself, I have witnessed in certain situations where a batch has popped up. Like I saw one, it was an on-demand batch, as a matter of fact, and I brought this up before, but it was an on-demand batch, and it was, I think it was $50 something dollars, or $60 something dollars, between $50 and $60. What I remember for sure is that $5 of that was Instacart's payment, and this was a full service shop. It was at a Costco, and I believe it was like between 16 and 20 items. And it was Costco. There was no heavy pay included in that. And when I looked at the items in this batch, everything was heavy. There was nothing that was light and petite. Everything was big and bulky, from cases of water, to trash bags, to cleaning supplies. Everything in this order was large. There was no heavy item pay coming from Instacart. The customer was tipping $45. The customer. So I feel like Instacart in this situation definitely took advantage of the fact that the customer was giving such a large tip and decided to pay the bare minimum, which to me is a breach of contract right there in itself, because if the contract clearly states, and you can find this information in the Instacart Shopper Help Center, the contract clearly states that for full service shops, meaning if you have to go into the store and actually shop for these items, you are to receive no less than a $7 contribution from Instacart, no less, meaning you can receive more, but the minimum, regardless of what the customer is tipping, is $7. So for them to only give $5 is what you're supposed to get when it's a delivery only, meaning you're just going into the location, grabbing the bags, scanning them, and then going and delivering them. You don't have to shop for them. That to me is an example of how I feel Instacart is getting away with murder when it comes to certain aspect of their contract. They hold us accountable for so much, and it's not just Instacart, because all of these different gig economy platforms have their downfalls, their pros, and their cons. But the most significant con that they all share is their
in 2 miles, take exit 5A for Del Amo Boulevard toward Lakewood.
Insufficient pay structures. They don't realize, or they do realize. Now let me be clear. I do understand that they are a business and they have to run their business for the sake of the business. But at the end of the day, your business has so many different variables and so many different parts that keeps it flowing and functioning. And for these gig economy platforms, a really big aspect of them being able to provide these services from all these different restaurants and or grocery stores is the fact that they have independent contractors going and picking up and dropping off, basically being the middleman. And I feel that they need to put a little bit more attention into showing their appreciation and just paying us, period. Paying us what we're worth. You know what I mean? I have gone back and forth, I know, in several videos talking about how I was going to not cherry pick, and then I said I was going to cherry pick, but then I started reading some of you guys' comments, and some of you are like, I don't care, I'm not accepting the $7 order, period. I'm not accepting, one person said, I'm not accepting
in half
the order.
a mile, take exit 5A for Del Amo Boulevard toward Lakewood.
Where I don't get a tip, period. I know another person said, and shout out to everybody who's leaving comments. I don't want to put you guys' name out there until, you know what I mean, you guys give me the okay, but I am acknowledging that a lot of the stuff that I'm speaking off of is you guys' comments. So shout out to everybody.
Take exit 5A, then turn right onto Del Amo Boulevard.
Who's brave enough to leave me your experiences and share them with me so that I can share them with everybody else. But yeah, one person said that they
turn right onto Del Amo Boulevard.
Are very selective about the batches that they take, and they've been put on what they feel is a timeout, but they don't care because they'll just log right back on. Someone also said that they don't feel that Instacart
Continue
really
on
cares
Del Amo Boulevard for 3/4 of a mile.
what your reason is as to why you couldn't accept a certain batch or whatever the case may be. They really don't care, you know what I mean? And I feel like that too. I don't really think that they care because they're not taking, like I said, they're not taking into consideration. If a person does decide to cancel their scheduled shift 2 hours before they're supposed to work it, and they give an explanation and said, hey, you know what, well, my son was sick, I had to take him to the emergency room. Instacart is still not good. When you call them, they make it seem as if they have no power at all. And then when you ask to speak to a supervisor, it's like, you know, like when I went through that situation with my car just recently where my car completely went down and it was busted. Do you guys know how many hoops I had to jump through? I mean, it was like, oh, well, we don't have the power to do this. And then what good are you if you don't have any power to do
In a 1/4 mile, turn right onto Turner Grove Drive.
If you don't have any power, if you can't do anything, then why are you on the phone with me? Is this just to pacify me? Like, I don't need you to rub my head like a chihuahua and tell me everything is going to be okay with your words. I mean, if you can't do anything to help me, then I don't need to talk to you. And then when you go to ask for a supervisor, sometimes, not all the time, but there's some irritation or agitation.
Take the second right onto Turner Grove Drive.
About speaking to a supervisor. It's almost like that they don't want to turn the phone over to a supervisor, which doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? I hear some people
In a
calling
1/4
it,
mile, turn right toward Del Amo Boulevard.
it's shopper happiness, which is cool, but we ain't happy. There ain't, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to bash Instacart or none of these platforms. I am completely and 100%
Take the next right toward Del Amo Boulevard, then turn
grateful.
right onto Del Amo Boulevard.
But where am I going? Faust. Okay, there's Faust. Hold on, you guys. Let me find out where I'm going because this thing here. All right, you guys. Sorry about that. I was getting. Stop that. Nasty. I was getting lost. Anyways.
Mommy, I'm thirsty.
Okay. Here, you can have a sip of some water.
What? Just water.
So, anyways, you guys, I do kind
Continue
of.
on Woodruff Avenue for 3 miles.
I do feel like you guys, not you guys, I do feel like Instacart has definitely packaged employee earnings and employee circumstances, regulations and policies, and then tried to call it independent contractor. And like I said, they knew what words to use in order to create this beautiful appearance, giving us the feeling that we were in some way in control of how we wanted to run our individual businesses or whatever, however you want to call it, and that's not the case. But you know, I can go on and on about this. You guys definitely continue to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Do you really truly think that Instacart is bullying us into being employees? Because I do. Another comment that I also read was that Instacart is trying to phase out full service shoppers and turn us into on-demand shoppers rather than having scheduled hours. I do feel like that's a possibility as well. Of course, there's no evidence as of now outside of just little things that everybody is seeing here and there to validate that. But again, let me know what you guys think down below. Definitely like this video, you guys. We're gonna try to get 50 likes. Continue to comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and until the next time, light, love, elevation, peace.